Alright, and now I'm gonna press play on the tape.
Okay. And I'll tell you when to start. Go. Alright, I wrote the script for, it's called 360 Degrees. It was about 3 years ago. And how I got the idea, I was just writing a whole bunch of dialogue for all different kinds of characters. And all the characters slowly started to emerge. Like, I just initialed them. I just labeled the characters by their initial. And just wrote a whole bunch of dialogue. And I started to notice that the certain letters started to say certain words over and over again. Eventually I gave them names and they came to be characters. And what the characters came out to be were a one guy who just basically had a really small penis and he was ashamed of his penis size. A black guy who had a fetish for white women, a crazy fetish for white women, and a gay guy whose religion tells him, that being gay is a blasphemy in the eyes of God. He's very religious, so he has those comments. See, the gay thing seems really out of styled and outdated right now. But when I wrote it 3 years ago, it wasn't like Ellen and all that stuff was going on, so it was actually kind of original at the time. But now it just seems kind of dated, but it still has a pretty original effect to it. The cat was looking at my leg, tickled. Well, I'm not sure if I could go ahead and move on and talk about how I got people together. Well, basically, all three of them during the whole course of the day, we follow them over a course of the day, and we see little flashes of their past throughout the movie, and eventually their problems from the past, the present, and we see glimpses of the future at the beginning, and they all kind of merge at the ending to make a nice little package. Some things don't go the way you're gonna think they're gonna. They don't go the way you think they're gonna go. It's not a typical story. It sounds kind of corny, like, these are really small problems to have. But you got to realize, too many times our stories dealing with, it's a really big problem. Like the guy's a senator, and he's a crooked senator, and he has a small penis. Or he's a black preacher who has all this power, and he has a fetish for white women. I just thought it'd be really cool if it was, his main gimmick was that he had a fetish for white women, or he had a small penis, or, I don't know why. I just thought that would be a good gimmick to actually make the small side, things that are usually the small, you know what I'm talking about. Don't mess with me, Rand. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. Is that halfway decent? I can do it again.
Okay, now talk about how long it took you to write the script and when you brought it around for people to read.
All right.
In that part.
All right. I wrote the script in a week. All the time, most of the time was proofreading it and doing revisions and rewrites, all that stuff. But I wrote the script in a week. Then I showed it to people, just getting feedback, seeing what I should change, what they didn't like, what they did like. But when it all started to come to fruition, I think that's the word, right? Fruition, doesn't matter. I'll sound ignorant for now. Was when I gave the script to what now is called the Too Big Family, what I consider to be the Too Big Family, and we are a family. It's a name, but we definitely are a family. Rand, E. Bradbury Jr. the Third Esquire, blah, blah, blah. Ed McLaughlin, Ken Cattell, and Serco Artinian, which is the Too Big Family, a.k.a. Randini, the great Randini, Bulldog, K. Swift, and Cirque Daddy. I, of course, am the Rye Guy. And we all got together and we went ahead and shot they're a great group of guys. I got a little bit of money together and they were all willing to help out. And we went ahead and shot the movie on 16 millimeter. We didn't shoot it in your typical fashion at all, but it got done. It's shot. We're in the process of editing it now. It's starting to look sharp. We're starting to get feedback. We're showing a couple scenes here and there. People are liking it. People are loving it. Some people don't like it. That's going to happen. You can't please everybody. But it's starting to look really good, and I can't wait to get more and more feedback on it. The more and more we get done, and the more and more we sharpen things up here and there. But it's looking great right now.
All right, now tell us some of the times and troubles and everything about shooting it and how long it took to shoot it and the good points and the bad points about shooting.
Damn, man, that's a lot.
You don't have to make all of that. Just about the shoots and put in how long it took to.
Okay, how long it took? I think we started shooting in like late November. And then we shot all the way to February. I don't think in total it was more than 15 days worth of shooting, but it was just spread out so long because we took off. We went 3 weeks for Christmas vacation, then we came back and we were only able to shoot on weekends, and the actors were constantly dropping out. And I thought the film was going to be done in February to show how naive I was. And now look we're in October. It's about to be October, and the film's just actually finished now. So it's obviously we're way behind schedule. But if you look at all those major movies, Titanic was like a year behind schedule, and they have like I don't know what kind of budget to work with. So I mean, being how cheesy and the low budget that we had, and unknowingly that we were, the way we handled everything, it was. I think it's pretty good the fact that we actually got it done at this point right now within this time frame. A lot of the problems, I don't know, Ryan. I don't know. The problems were the typical problems you have on any set. Anytime you're spending that much time with the same group of people, there are going to be arguments. There are going to be, fights, and you're going to start noticing certain things about everybody that gets on your nerves. So of course that happened, but for the most part, I think everything went fine. We really got along pretty well. Everybody got into a groove after a while. Just so everyone knows I don't know, man. I guess we got into a groove. We were rolling smooth. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter all the bad stuff. We were in a groove. We were rolling smooth.
Name one particularly funny thing and one particularly bad thing that happened during shooting.
One particularly bad thing happened was, I guess I'll start with the good stuff. Good stuff always start off better. One funny thing or good thing? Funny. I guess the only thing that sticks out in my mind, which it wasn't funny at the time, like I wanted to rip his neck off, but rip his head off. But we were right in the middle of shooting, and right before we were about to shoot something, I called action, and then you gotta realize, film is expensive. Every time this thing's rolling off, it's costing me like $1 every 10 seconds. So anyway, we start rolling, and right in the middle while we're rolling, I don't know what possessed him to do it, or why he decided to do it, but all of a sudden, Circle just starts knocking on the wall like this. He starts knocking on and I just got so pissed, because I was like, what are you doing? It's funny when it's video and you're not spending any money, you can just record right over it. But when it's film and you're spending a lot of money and you're busting your ass, everybody's busting their ass, and they're just gonna go knock on the wall in the middle of the scene, for no apparent rhyme or reason, and he's not in the scene. I don't know why, it just pissed me the fuck off. I don't know why, it just did. But then after I sat, and then after it was done, and we thought about it, we laughed about it, we teased him about it, we made jokes about, the knock on the wall, we'd be hanging out, and all of a sudden someone would go like this, and we'd all start cracking up. So it just turned into a big laugh after that, but at the time, I did not think it was funny. And then the good thing?
I guess.
The good thing, man, that was the funny thing. Actually, I should have made that the bad. That was the bad thing that turned into a good thing. The bad thing, the only thing that was bad and was pure bad, I guess I could say, was there was one time I never talked to him about it. I talked to him about it. One of the actors, the main actors, was just like, "Look, I'm not coming because I got to hang out with my friends. I just feel like hanging out with my friends today." And it was just really bad to me because everyone cleared out their schedule to shoot, and we got all the camera together, and it's hard to get everybody together at once. So when we finally do, we like to shoot something. And I just think it's kind of messed up when one guy just decides, well, fuck it, I don't want to come up today and just ruin everybody else's good time. So that was kind of bad, but I mean, it's understandable. I mean, he was shooting a lot, and it wasn't like we were paying him, and it wasn't like there was all this great food on the set, so you can't really blame the guy. But that bothered me.
Nice. Any other funny things that happened?
There's a lot of funny things, man. A lot of stuff like during shooting it, being that all there's some people in the class that were in the class. I don't know if I should be saying anything. Like not half the class, was like 5 people in the class that had something to do with it at some point. A lot of funny stuff, man. See, I can't say that either. Look, man, you know, if the camera was off, I'd say, give me a break. We're going to be saying that in the middle of class. No, man, because everyone's going to see it, and then they're probably going to run back and tell the person who I said it about. I probably said too much already, man.
Give us a fake name. Let's call this person. Let's call this person Bob.
Trust me, it doesn't matter if I call him.
Come on.
Yeah, Ezekiel. It doesn't matter, man. You call him Ezekiel.
Retarded Ezekiel.
Don't say that.
Come on.
Oh, man. I'm not saying anything. It's just, 90% of the funny stuff is stuff that I can't really see on camera.
Oh.
Man, it's one of those things where you just have to be there. You know how you ever have those things where you have to describe the joke, and are we still rolling now? You know, well, you know, it's one of those things when you try to describe a joke, you try to tell a funny joke about how, oh yeah, me and Frank were all hanging out, and this thing came by, and you try to tell the joke, and it's just not funny. It's just one of those things, you have to be there. You have to be there when you and Frank were on the corner and this thing happened. Because that's 90% of the funny stuff on the set. It's not like, if I sat here and described them to you, you'd be like, wow, that's really not all that funny. But if you were there, trust me, you'd be laughing. And that's where most of the funny stuff comes from, so.
Tell me how your life has been in the past year. No, I mean, like...
Like I'm a star!
Like, no, like, seriously, how much of your life is wasted?
I will say that. It definitely, for like the last year and a half, has absolutely consumed my life. Like, almost every dime I had. But my theory has always been, I'm not going to say, of course, if you're poor, you know, if you're begging for change and all this other stuff on the street, obviously not. But I think if you are in college, you're able to make a 60mm film. The bottom line is, how bad do you want it? You know, do you want it bad enough to where you're going to sell your CDs? Or do you want it bad enough to where you're not going to go out with your friends because you don't want to spend, you know, $10 for weed or $5 here for beer or whatever, and you just want to save up that money to make the movie? Do you want it bad enough to where you'll live in cheap conditions, where you'll stay at home for 3 months, you know, and just work, and every penny you have saved just for the movie? I mean, it's like, how bad do you want it? You know, and if you want it that bad, at that time, I wanted it that bad, where I had no life for like I don't want to say a year, that's so exaggerating, but for 3 months. For those 3 months when I was with my parents, like I went home with my parents and did nothing but work and save up money, and they moved to some no-name town who I knew nobody. So I mean, for 3 months, I was just working, put every penny I had, just saved it, you know, ate their food, didn't have any friends, never went out, never bought any weird beer or anything like that, and nothing, just lived a straight life for 3 months and just saved money. And then when I came back to school, I went ahead and got everybody that I was telling you about before, and when we went ahead and shot it. But that's the bottom line. It's all about how bad do you want it. But for the last year and a half, it's consumed my life. I can't say I've never thought about a girl that much. I'm an addict. That's the bottom line. I'm an addict. No one's going to ever call you an addict, because you know, you're doing something good. You're making a movie. But I mean, I'm telling you, to me, it was just as bad as crack or anything else. I would have done anything to get this movie done. That honestly is no exaggeration. I mean, I'm happy it didn't have to go that far to where I had to see what I had to do to get the movie done. But I really wondered. Sometimes I'm sitting at night and I'll just think, you know, if I needed like an extra $500 and I needed it quick, I needed it fast, I mean, would I sell drugs? I don't want to prostitute myself. Not that anyone would pay, but don't get me wrong, I'm not crazy. But I mean, would I sell drugs to get like a quick $500? I mean, I want to keep doing it, but just to get this $500 to shoot this scene, or would I, you know, it's just wild. I honestly think I was an addict for like a year. But because you're making a 60mm movie and it's so good, I don't think anyone's gonna ever call you an addict. But I really might have put myself in that bracket at one point. It's just when you reach a point of no return, man. When you put so much into it and there's no way you can go back, That's when it starts getting bad because you're like, no, I put too much into this. I gotta get this done. There's no way I'm going back now. Forget that. I put too much money, too much hard time. And that's when the addict part comes in, but I'm blabbing.
Excellent. All right, we got enough.
Fuck you! You don't even deserve to be on this fucking tour. Fuck you, man. You.
Go.
Now it's time to find the spot. Let me go ahead and see the sound effect I added in. If I remember any of the things, I'll stop. One made of Mingos.
All right, Ryan, tell me about editing. You can look at me or you can't. You don't have to.
But I mean, what specifically? You gotta be more specific.
Tell me about editing this movie, your philosophies on editing.
My philosophy on editing, editing is a very important process to me, strictly because of this. I direct in the editing room. I just when I direct, I don't actually I just direct pretty sloppily. I look at it as like pieces of puzzle. You just kind of get the pieces of the puzzle during directing, which is all sloppy. It's scattered. It doesn't really matter. And you actually direct it in the editing room. And that's what I do. I always like directing it more in the editing room because you have more control. You know, you can get exactly this shot and that shot and match it the way you want and all that other business. So editing is a very important process to me. It's my joy. It's my love and joy. I love it more than my mother and all my family members. And food and feet. I have a fetish for feet. I like it more than feet. This is the wrong tape. Damn it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a big joke.
Gotcha. 360. Damn
All right,
it.
Ryan, do me a favor. I only need like 3 more things.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and talk about stuff.
Yeah, I need you. I need to see your
actually
hands like fucking around on the. Wearing buttons. You don't have to really hit them, but you can act.
And enter there. Little video 1. Little player. Then you want to do a little preview. If I don't, so I'm stopping it.
All right, good.
I'm actually just.
Now touch some of this, Jimmy, over here.
What, this one?
Ryan. All right, yeah. Look back at me and tell me what you hope this movie does for you and for us and for everybody.
What I'm hoping the movie does is, well, basically it gets our foot through the door. Like, you know, because that's the hardest thing about this business, I guess, is getting your chance, getting your big burn, you know, your big chance to just get a shot. And I'm just hoping that it'll get our foot through the door enough to where somebody will say, you know, hey, I think these kids have something going for them. Maybe I'll go ahead and give them a shot to actually give them a little bit of money to do it the right way. Now, I can tell that this isn't, you know, I can tell that they actually do have some kind of vision here, but it's just not all the way there because they didn't have the money or the know-how and blah, blah, blah. But I guarantee if, you know, I gave them a shot and gave them some money, you know, but that's the problem. There's not a lot of people out there like that. So, that's pretty hard. You also catch me like, I don't know, what it was like midnight. So, I'm not all that mentally sharp right now. So I'm not giving you a lot of sassy dialogue, but not to mention the editing room's like the worst time to catch me because I'm like always in the zone when I'm editing.
Yo, this one's free if you want it.
I actually like this one. This one actually that's right on point. I actually do need your help for this game. So I gotta switch tapes.
Smile, Ryan. Look at me and smile. Long smile. Do some stuff. Do more.
Do some stuff.
Yeah.
Just pull out your stuff.
Nice. Awesome. Alright, hook me up with some Teletubbies.
Alright, this is my whole deal on the Teletubbies. Well, I'm not even sure if I really have a deal as far as the Teletubbies go. It's just, it is the most warped show. It's not like when I was a kid. I mean, I'm not all that old, but I mean, I just remember when I was growing up, man, it was just like, I don't know, we had Sesame Street, we had, you know, stuff that made sense. It made sense, you know, it was like, you know, they always spell out the word for you, like, encyclopedia, you know, and then you got it. They would help you read and everything else, but these Teletubbies, they teach you nothing. They teach you absolutely nothing. They just, like, there's this windmill and there's this kid in the sun. And it seems like he controls their universe, and they're from what Rand was telling me, they're like these unisex. They're these unisex. They don't really have a sex because this is supposed to be a guy Teletubby, but he carries a purse, and they have these big ass stomachs. You know, what's one thing that's weird is they sit on top of this hill. All four of them. There's four Teletubbies, like Poe and something else. They stick out their stomach. And a TV pops out of their fucking stomach. And like
everybody goes,
yep. Yay! And everyone's like, yay! And then they start showing like some kind of thing coming out of their stomach. Like, the people are programming shit out of the kid's stomach. And like the windmill goes around and spins out some shit. They go running. They go, uh-oh. And they do it like 50, and they do it like 50 times a show.
It's
the
like the
windmill
fucked
starts
up
spinning.
Care Bear
Yep.
stare,
There's
right?
sparkles flying everywhere.
And then,
Teletubbies! Television!
Yep. And also, like, the kid, like, I don't know, he finds the Teletubbies, like, hilarious, because every time they cut to him, he's, like, laughing in the sun. He's in the sun, he's like, hee. And he has an almost evil stare a baby can have. Like, babies 9 times out of 10 are cute. This is, like, one of those 10 that's just not cute. He's, like,
Hitler
evil.
as a baby.
Yep, that's exactly what he is. He's a Hitler baby. That's exactly what it is.
What's a Hitler Jugend? Is Hitler Jugend? What's Hitler like baby?
Yep, and he's like Hitler over these Teletubbies. I bet that's probably what the symbolism is of it. He's
baby Adolf.
Yeah. He runs these Teletubbies' lives, but I mean, you just gotta see the show. It's on PBS, but I mean, it's just the sickest warped show I've ever seen in my life.
I can see baby Adolf in those pajamas with the feet and like a swastika on
A little mustache,
pocket.
a little tiny mustache on his
Swastika mobile hanging over him.
But man, it's just wild, man.
Frying Jews.
You gotta really, after you do, just have to see it. I mean, it's not even something you can describe. It's just wild, man. And there's like a vacuum cleaner that's actually, it's an animal. It's a vacuum cleaner. And it also was friends with the Teletubbies too, man. They're just wild. They jump in a hole at the end. And you don't know where the hell they go. They just like jump in some kind of hole at the end of the thing. And they just go, bye-bye. And they jump in some hole. You don't know where the hell they go, but
All right,
it's wild.
sign off.
All right, that's it for the Teletubbies and Ryan. Nice meeting you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye. Yeah, that's what they say, too. Bye-bye. Uh-oh.